Belonging. This is what we want for every child and for every member of Team Tulsa. What we mean by that is that we want every person in our district, whether it's a student or a member of our team or a family member, to be able to come into our schools and buildings every single day and know that they are supported and loved for their whole selves, in whatever that means. So that includes their interests and passions and values, but it also includes our race, our gender identity and expression, culture, our sexual orientation, our religious affiliations. So I reference my faith on occasion with you, and it's a huge part of who I am. And it's a huge part of how I lead and why I lead. And I think that it's true that for each of us, our faith, whether we're Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, or a spiritual practice of another kind, or perhaps a choice to not be a part of a formal religious tradition, all of that, that's one of the parts of who we are. It's part of our identity. So what I wanted to share with you is that at church yesterday, one of our pastors, Kevin Howe, gave a sermon that really, really moved me. And I have been thinking about it ever since then. I'll tell you as a quick aside, just because so many of you are educators, that we recently realized that I had been his second grade teacher in Fort Worth, Texas. So that was pretty crazy for both of us to figure out, and all of a sudden all the memories come flowing back, and I found some photos and everything. But anyway, so I want to share with you a portion of what he shared with us, and I've slightly modified it, but I want to share it with you what he spoke to us. It says, "Don't buy the lie that is handed to you by our culture, which says that you only stand a chance with those who think and feel and act and vote like you do. Many are finding it easier to end relationships than to listen to a different point of view. What was once disagreement has become outright disdain. And it's so easy for us to become conformed to this view of the world, a world of us versus them. Polarized extremes, fractured relationships, shouting matches, hatred spewed on social media. Heaven forbid that we become so puffed up with pride that we forget to listen to those who do not agree with us." So, one of the sentences, what was once disagreement has become outright disdain. So my guess is that you, like me, can imagine all the ways in which this is too often true right now, or too often what we are experiencing in our world, nationally, and right here in our own families and social circles and at work. My pastor, Kevin Howe, also shared some words from Rachel Held Evans, who said, "Let's learn to argue better." And then I'll do a little extracting here, but she also sent a message about allowing differences to exist without questioning one another's commitment and without rooting for one another's demise. So, what I take from all of this is that we can discuss, debate, agree, disagree, and learn from each other. And we can do it respectfully and lovingly. And what I hope that we will do for one another is to begin by assuming that we all have positive intentions. Just start out of the gate making that assumptions. I also think it's important to seek the truth. Seek what is true, what is fact, and try to avoid reacting to unsubstantiated claims or something that you heard or something someone told you that someone said. I also think we have to listen to one another, and we have to really hear one another. And in all of that, we have to be willing to grow and to change. I know that when we do that for one another, that we will enhance our sense of belonging, that we will be able to feel more of a part of our teams and to feel closer and more supported by one another. Our differences, who we are as people, how we show up every day on our teams, in our schools, in our buildings, and also what we think and why we think it and how we share it. All of these differences are an asset. So, what I want to do, what I commit to you to do, and what I want for all of us is to make that commitment to celebrate these differences and to continue to learn together. Have an awesome week.